Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to the meeting of the Georgia State Election Board. I'd like to welcome everyone to the meeting of the Georgia State Election Board on October 3rd. And I'm Matt Mashburn. I'm the senior member of the board, and we'll begin the meeting as the master of ceremonies, I guess. But we'd like to call the meeting to order, and we'll begin with the invocation and pledge of allegiance. So we are now have been through all the cases that the board members have pulled. I've got 2 and 4 being continued off of the calendar and the remaining cases staying on the calendar. So if there a motion by the board to dismiss the remainder of the cases 2 through 16 with the exceptions of 2 and 4 in your binder.
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Has there been a motion and a second? Any discussion? Oh, the bind. Okay, let me give you the case numbers. I'm sorry. I was using binder numbers, so let me do the case numbers. Okay, here you go. Thank you for bringing that up. That was good. 2020-086 has been pulled and continued and moved to a different calendar, and 2021-085 has been continued and moved to a different calendar. And then the remainder of the cases shown on the agenda as recommended to be dismissed have a motion to be dismissed. And it's been seconded. Yeah, we don't take.
I notified your staff that I'm.
Hang on, let me.
SCP 2021-012.
Hang on just a second. Let me press your microphone. If you'll press the button in front of you that says talk or something. Can you? I got you.
Sorry,
Can you first identify yourself for us?
My name is Jeanne Seaver. I'm from Chatham County, and I have a case. It's basically the second one on the list, SEB 2021-12, Absentee Ballot Processing. I was told by your staff that was, that I would be notified and have an opportunity to speak when this case is being spoken upon.
Yeah, I regret that advice was in error. You're the complainant in the case?
Yes.
Traditionally, or the board has adopted a policy recently since last December last year that we're trying to clear cases off the calendar and move through them quickly. And one of the hard choices that the board was forced to make is the decision to whether or not to continue a policy of allowing the complainants to present on the case or not. And so that's just one of the tough choices that the board had to make, was that the complainants do not traditionally speak on the matters. And so it's the board's investigation that's being heard. So I regret that you were given incorrect information. But
I was told that I would give an opportunity. Your staff member right there told me so, sir. And Mr. Miller also told me that I would have an opportunity to speak when my case came up.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
That being said, Mr. Chairman, since she
Hang on. Go ahead.
since she did come, since she was told, even though it was a mistake, if
I've got it in an
Hang
email
on.
too,
hold
sir.
on, I'm with you here. That's fine, but she drove all the way from Chatham County.
Okay.
For that reason, because she was incorrectly told that she would have an opportunity to speak, she came all the way from Chatham County. I would ask that she be given a few minutes to speak.
The board controls its agenda, and the board member has made a unanimous consent request.
Yes, sir.
That you be allowed to speak. Would 3-4 minutes suit?
Is the case going to be read out loud? It should be read out loud what I'm responding to, my complaint.
Well, what the board member has.
For that reason, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, I will pull number 3 as well. Let's hear it.
Okay, so There's been a request by the board member to pull case number 2021-012. Unanimous consent motion unless there's objection, so ordered. Okay, so case number 2021-012, Secretary of State has the floor.
On January 5th, 2021, investigator Chuck Miller was forwarded a complaint involving the Chatham County Board of Elections and alleged improper processing of absentee ballots. This complaint alleges that the improper processing of absentee ballots by the Chatham County Registrar's Office while they were renting out office space at the Savannah Convention Center. The Convention Center security cameras captured video footage of Chatham County Registrar's Office workers, volunteers, and staff entering and exiting the building at various times. It also depicted county as well as personal vehicles parked on the premises and workers loading and unloading these vehicles with various supplies as well as absentee ballots. The investigator viewed footage a total of 3 times with Ronnie Hickman, Savannah Convention Center's Director of Operations, along with Chatham County Registrar Sabrina German, Russell Roden, CEO of Tatno Ballot Solutions, along with Chatham County Registrar's Office staff. Footage depicted staff members, workers, and unidentified persons entering and exiting the Savannah Convention Center building with supplies, mail, as well as equipment. Later, the camera security video crashed and all the bookmarked video footage of inside entrance areas were lost. The registrar, along with her staff and the CEO of the ballot printing company, denied witnessing or being involved in any activity in violation of the state election code. The complainant's original allegation was that she saw an employee loading a box of absentee ballots and leaving other ballots in their vehicle unattended. When asked by the investigator how she knew the items were absentee ballots, she admitted that she did not know and that it was speculation on her part. Investigator Chuck Miller spoke with the complainant, Jeanne Seaver, concerning the allegations, and she stated the following. She did not know for sure the contents of the container were absentee ballots. It was an assumption since the elections office was working out of the facility. She watched the video and felt it needed to be brought to someone's attention. And her final statement was, she honestly did not know for sure, but there seemed to be much going on. So those were their statements when I had the investigator follow up to find out when we got this complaint, well, how did she know if she was viewing that they were absentee ballots? And this was the statement that was obtained.
Questions for the investigator from the board?
Can I go ahead?
Okay. All right, so I still have a unanimous consent motion to provide the complainant 3 minutes. With that objection, so ordered. So let me make sure your mic's on. And you've got 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and the board, for allowing me an opportunity to speak. I am from Chatham County. We're one of the few counties that not only has a board of elections, but we have a board of registrars. They're totally 2 separate departments. The board of registrars contracted an off-site facility to process ballots. The report even stated that they had shown video, they had seen video of ballots going in and out. There, for an example, there was a gentleman that was walking out. He put ballots right down in the main lobby area, walked out to his car, took another box there, shut the trunk of the car. You know how you can tell on a video whether they click or not, that it's locked? Never was done. Came back, picked up the other box, and went it back there. So not only was it left unsupervised in the lobby area, but also in the car. Yes, we do have, sometimes we have the city, the county that picks them up. But if you look at these videos, and like you said, they've disappeared now, so I do still have some on my phone that I would love to show you sometime. But I am telling you, I've been a poll watcher. I've been active in our community. We have a lot of complaints in Chatham County on what's going on, and we never really get a voice. I've always been about the right thing to do. So I put myself out there, came up here to report to you what I thought and felt was truly wrong, and that it should be investigated. Now, I watched some meetings a couple months ago that basically this board requested a report from the Chatham County Board of Elections or Board of Registers, a whole list of complaints to be presented to the board. I don't know if those complaints have been provided. I know you asked for them, but I don't know if they have. It's very disappointing that Chatham County is not here to speak or maybe to explain. I have the pictures. I'll show each one of you. There's something not right going on around there. And it's like, this is not personal. As we all know, there is a major issue in Georgia, and they are not feeling confident with the votes, their votes counting. When I saw this, I felt the need to report it. I am begging you to please take under consideration to look further into this investigation and not dismiss it. There were things going on that you didn't hear everything. And I just honestly request that. And like I said, we must do every effort to make sure that our people that we pay our money to, make sure they follow custody of ballots and protocols. And I'm telling you, they were not followed here, and I just think that there could have been some more investigation. And to say that the tapes just disappeared off the network is just totally unacceptable to me. Thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for your comments. Turn
I
off.
may ask a question to the investigator. Did we talk to the folks in Chatham County about you know, in terms of maintaining control of the absentee ballots, which you talked about in particular with the car in and out?
Yes, we interviewed staff, personnel, etc. And I actually had the investigator go back and talk to Ms. Seaver when I read this complaint, because it was a pretty thorough job done as far as who he talked to. He sat down, he actually watched this video before it crashed. He watched it with the representatives, some of the leadership from Chatham County, and then later during COVID, I guess, is when it went down. So he actually saw the video himself, the investigator did. And I had him follow up to find out, okay, she's making this allegation. How did she know they were absentee ballots? And what I read was that she didn't know. She was speculating. This is the statement that she gave the investigator, because I wanted to make sure if she said she saw absentee ballots, then that's what she saw. But on a follow-up interview, she said that she was speculating, and she didn't know what they were. She saw individuals loading up or having things in their vehicle, but she couldn't say for sure that they were absentee ballots. So I think we did a pretty thorough job in investigating this and even following back up with the complainant regarding her allegations.
With regard to the investigator's observation of the tape, of the video, did he observe that certain items were not being, regardless of what was in them, certain boxes were not being attended to at all times that were going in and out?
I mean,
he may not have known what was in the box, but did he observe what she's speaking of in terms of boxes not being attended to at all times? You understand what I'm saying? There was a specific, she raised one specific point among others, that somebody had boxes, was carrying them in, put them down, left them unattended, went back to pick up another box in the trunk that was unattended, and then carried both. I'm just asking whether or not that was on the tape that he saw.
There were so many hours of video that he saw people, because they were using that as another location. So he saw individuals with paper, with all types of supplies. When he interviewed people, that's what they said, that they were bringing supplies, paper, you name it. And so it was so voluminous as far as the amount of footage that he saw that he couldn't determine specifically, what she was referring to, because there were so many hours of video that were part of what he reviewed.
Can I make one comment to that?
Not yet. Mr. Lindsay has the floor.
Yeah, well, if you can, just not to speak, just real specific to that.
Say is I got a phone call about 2 weeks ago from the Secretary of State's office asking me, did I know what was in those boxes? I was surprised by it, because don't you think Chatham County Board of Registers should be telling him what's in those boxes and not me? I just put it up there for them to investigate. I thought it was very unfair that I got a phone call a couple days when I've been waiting for almost 3 years for this case.
I understand. I'm sticking to what you know. I don't mean to cut you off, just want to try to get to that point. I understand. I don't mean to be dismissive.
Ms. Gazelle?
Yes,
Board Member Gazelle?
One note that I had made on this report was that there were no sign-in sheets, no logs, and I don't think that is something that has been required in the past, but I think that couple of points. A lot of large counties are having to use ancillary facilities. And I think it would behoove us as a board to look at the rules and see if there should be a mandate to have sign-in sheets for any facility that is processing ballots, whether they're voted or unvoted ballots, to have people, if there is a building that has ballots and it is not the election office, I think that should be a standard practice and not just a best practice, but a required one. So for the record, I think that as we look at rulemaking, we can add that so that we have a solid record of exactly who is in a building and in a room with a ballot. And I think this is a good case. There was no violation on that because there's no rule, but I think there should be.
But there is a rule in terms of maintaining control of the ballots.
Yes.
Even though there's, how you do so isn't.
This just brings into question the whole issue of how to handle ballots. And dual control is absolutely necessary. Documentation is absolutely necessary. And complete chain of custody from the moment the ballot is printed until the ballot is all the way through process and stored in the clerk of the court. So if we cannot ensure that, then we have a problem, and we have to have documentation. Every time that ballot is touched or moved or conveyed or stored or packed, it has to be witnessed with a team, and I would prefer a bipartisan team, and it needs to be documented.
At this time, it's been removed for discussion, but as to its disposition, we're ready for a motion on this particular case. And everybody check me, 2021-012 is what we're on, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would move to continue. I'd like to hear from Chatham County, and I do understand my fellow board members' admonition regarding the clarity in terms of the rules, but the rules do require maintaining control, and it does appear that there was a certain amount of chaos going on. I haven't seen any evidence of nefarious activity, but certainly chaos was going on, or at least a small level of chaos going on. And similar to what I said with Floyd County, I'd like to hear from Chatham County that they've got this thing under control as we go into the '24 election. And for that reason, Mr. Chairman, I would move to continue this matter. And I think my investigators did a good job. I'm not questioning you guys, but I would like to hear from Chatham County as to how we're going to be able to maintain better control over the ballots, particularly as we go into the '24 election.
Okay.
And for that reason, I would move to continue.
And move it to a violations calendar?
Yes.
Okay, so there's been a motion to continue the case, 2021-012, and continue it and move it to the violations calendar. Will be presented at the next available hearing when it's ready. Is there a second?
A second.
There's been a motion and a second. Discussion? No discussion. All those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed would say no. The motion carries.
And let me also, no. Let me also say to folks in Chatham County who we've talked with in the past, coming to us in December and explaining how we're going to have better control and how, quite frankly, as my fellow board member mentioned, we are looking at rules that we will be implementing or proposing at the next meeting, and this would certainly be one of the, we're adding to the list every day. And having not just Chatham, but the other board folks out here on how to maintain better security and what kind of rules would be practicable would be very helpful to us, and we look forward to your input. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So